This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
We got Kelsey Brown in here from the West Coast Fever, and the good news is she's brought in a double pass to see the West Coast Fever take on the New South Wales
Hang on,
Spurs.
Sean's trying to do the giveaway. Let him do the giveaway.
The game's this Sunday, by the way, 13-24-10. Caller number 8 will get that double pass. Thanks for that, Kels. What are we going to start with, Nathaniel?
Took her that whole time to get her headphones on her head.
I couldn't figure it out. They are a bit tricky.
What's with these headphones?
Yeah, they can bite you
They
sometimes
tackle too. Hey, Kels, we were talking off air, but let's reflect back to last week. The Thunderbirds were go last weekend. They absolutely pulled your pants down.
Yeah, they did. And nice way to explain it. I think Thunderbirds were really on and we were really off, but I think we've had a lot of tough discussions this week. It's been sort of a line in the sand moment that let's use this loss. An 18-goal loss is huge in SSN, and we've beaten teams by that, but to be on the other end of that has been it's been an interesting week, and we've had a lot of hard discussions. So hopefully it's a line in the sand and we can use it for good.
There's one thing that there's comments that floating around every now and then. Oh, teams have worked you out, right, since the start of the year when you got off to a good start. I never ever agree with that comment, because if you're good enough of what you do, no team should be able to stop what you do.
No, absolutely. And you should be able to combat anything that a team throws at you. And we believe in that. I agree with you. And I think for us, we were really well prepared going into the start of the season, probably, and you would argue better prepared than maybe other teams. And we'd had a great sort of preseason hit out. And the middle part of an SSN season is always quite difficult.
Bit of a grind.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. You start to see teams the second time around, and I think I wouldn't say that teams have figured us out. I think we've probably gone away from our game plan the last couple of weeks, but yeah, like I said, we've had a lot of discussions around non-negotiables now, and a non-negotiable is sticking to the game plan. Sounds very simple, but yeah, we got to turn this around, otherwise there's no sort of chance for us at the later end of the season. So we've got to stick to the right now and not worry about what's going to happen in July and August. Get the job done at the moment.
So you were saying that the team have worked them out, Shaun. So say you study your component, your competitor, and then you work out how they play. Do you then, as professional sports teams, you guys have a secret play, like when you see in the Americas?
Adapt, yeah.
Like, is there a secret play that everyone knows about it, and then someone does like a brush of the nose, and then we do it?
Because we've seen Ted Lasso, we know how it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
No, you definitely have your set plays, and it's probably been a discussion for us this week. Are we executing them at the standard that we need to? Because they should be your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Because the set play has always just been throw it to Janelle, put it up high and chuck it to Janelle. But
everyone
Janelle,
just thinks that that's our cheat code, but it does take a little bit to get it there. And but I think for us, we played a particular way. People are putting defensive zones on us now. We've seen that the last few weeks with Vixens and Thunderbirds, and just them playing sort of big. But we do have the skills to get around any defensive lineup that they put in. So,
but if everyone's ready for your play, then you doing the exact opposite would really throw them off. Does that happen in sport?
Can I say that probably a set play can start in different positions as well? For example, the set play runs a particular way, but you can have a different starting position. Therefore, hold the defence off in a way that the ball still runs that way.
So there's no secret plan where everyone suddenly does the flying V and everyone in the crowd goes, oh!
We do love the flying V.
You're limited netball because not everybody can go everywhere.
Yeah, but I think for us, like our set play sometimes is just basically getting everyone on the same page. So all you're thinking about, say you've lost the ball a few times, all you're thinking about is what I need to do in that moment. It's a way of getting all 7 players back on the same page. So sometimes
everyone
it's
look
not
at the script.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, it has to go here, there and everywhere. It's just, this is your role for this set play. We need to score a goal and it's a settler. It's a way to get everyone back into flow.
We used to play Sydney Swans, and they had Barry Hall, who would take the ruck inside 50, forward 50, and this has gone on for a decade, that you knew that Barry Hall would take the ruck, he would hit it on his left-hand side hip, and then 2 of the players would run through and one of them would get it and they'd snap for goal. Now, they had the best strike rate in the league, and even though for 10 years we
everybody
knew exactly what was going to happen, exactly to the moment.
So why didn't you do anything about that? Because you knew it was about to happen.
They just executed it better.
Manipulate your starting position, and if you know what you're doing better than everyone else, then
Yeah, right.
If you execute it well, then it's hard to stop. It's just, getting it to the point.
So last week we saw a bit of a change in the lineup at goal attack. So Shanice has been playing, and then Olivia Wilkinson came in and started at goal attack. So is that goal attack? Is there a bit of instability there at the moment? I mean, are you trying things out? Is that the ethos behind that?
I feel like Dan is just the kind of coach that will unearth sort of every combination, and that's his plan. Hopefully, we're in a good position at the moment. I won't say a great position. We dropped to second on the ladder, and we've still got to take care of the next few games. But I think Dan is the kind of coach that is like, let's see what combinations look like. And now we have had all 10 players start at a different point in time. We've seen what people can do when they inject off the bench. We've seen what people can do when they start. And I think that's Dan's mindset, is just, let's see what, you might unearth something that you never thought.
Well, I mean, Alice Teague-Neal at goal attack. Yeah, we hadn't seen that before either.
Yeah, so there's just so many different, and I think that makes you threatening as a team. If you can put out any combination, how do you prepare for that if there's 3, 4, 5 people that can play a position?
Yeah.
You know what? Whenever you come in, I always think, God, who do you remind me of? And I think it's Billie Eilish. Do you get that? Do you get that ever?
I haven't got that before, but I will take that.
Do people say you look like someone?
She's hot.
Yeah.
Who do people say you look like? Do you get someone in particular?
No, I know.
Have we seen Billie Eilish at wing attack? That's what we need to ask.
Yeah, she does look lovely.
I reckon she'd be a really good wing defender.
Okay, every week from here on in, we'll find someone you
Find my doppelganger, please.
Yeah. Hey, tell us all about your first trip down south.
Oh, it was stunning. Yeah, I haven't been down south before, so it was a nice little trip away. But it's beautiful down there. I do really want to get there in summer though, Shaun.
Yeah, so you stayed in one of those hayscape cabins.
Yeah,
we were giving away a trip to those a few weeks ago.
Oh.
And how was it?
It was beautiful. They're tiny, but they're so cool. Like that, it had a bath in it. It had an outside bath.
And it was on a winery.
Yeah. On
so
a
you
winery.
stayed there by yourself?
Then you stayed at an Airbnb in Shorewater, didn't you?
Yeah, on the way back up, no.
Yeah.
Just to get some.
We were talking about that earlier.
Where's Shorewater?
Oh,
You know where it is. That's where you stayed the other night.
No, it was beautiful. I had a great time.
Yeah. Did you go?
I know you want to ask.
When you're down south, you become a better person, because when we're down south and you go into all the little shops, you go in, you're looking at candles and
you go to farmers markets with a straw bag and
hand
stuff.
wound with wool and stuff, and then you think, I'm going to buy that for my house. And when you get home, you go, what did I buy that for?
Well, that was the thing in the Hayscape. It was all these natural body washes and everything, and I was like, I'm wholesome right now. And then I come back to Perth and I'm sweaty and I'm back.
She's washing her pizza Palmolive.
No, it was a nice reset. I felt like a human being for a period of time. Sometimes as an athlete, you just think it's just day in, day out. You're taping your ankles. You've got sore body parts. You're sweating every second of the day. So it was a nice little refresher to be a human.
Well, let's hope you're raring to go against the Swifts this weekend. I'll be there. Christine from Baldivis is going to be there too. She scored the tickets.
Good on you, Christine.
Good luck.
Thank
you.
We
wish you all the best.
Thanks, Carol.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Okay, there's plenty of sport on last night, actually, and the best part about it is some of the stations that nobody has ever watched in their life, and I'm talking about 9Gem and bloody Bold and all this
Wouldn't
crap.
even know where to get it.
Yeah, exact potato jams, that's all you know. They have been hosting some of the good sporting events. So we've had the Australian Swim Championships. You'll be able to see that on Channel 9. Gets underway about 5:30. So last night...
Is that before or after Malcolm in the Middle?
No.
That's where all those shows seem to go.
Antiques Roadshow.
All those shows seem to go there.
Exactly. So last night, McKeon was one of the stars again, and she won the 100-metre backstroke, and she missed out by literally a fingernail. So
it was 0.08 of a second.
Yeah, they had it down as 100 of a second. So that is a fingernail, really, of claiming the world record. Yesterday we talked about you don't want to give up. Do you want to claim world records? I mean...
But she got out and Paul and said she was disappointed.
I know, that was the thing.
Look, you want to do it in the most glorious way possible, like where everyone's got their eyes on there and it's the big competition of the day. But you know what? Getting one under your belt, why wouldn't you?
Well, I just like to think that you hold off until the grand finals, the Olympics, right? Yeah. So you just win your event, okay? Yeah. She won by body length or so. Then you go into the... Don't you want to just come over the top and smash everyone?
You do see it happen, Shaun, so where the world record holder goes to the Olympics and then doesn't win. Eamon Sullivan's an example of that. I think Kate Campbell's another example of that.
Yes.
Where, they're going in, they're at the top, they've peaked, they've broken the world record, all the expectations on them, and then they they don't win the gold medal and that shattering disappointment that comes with that.
But I
For
sort
sure.
of think straight away of Survivor when someone goes home with an immunity idol. You've got to play everything you've got at the
don't wanna
moment that
leave
you're
it on the
doing
table.
it. You know what I mean? Because
I
say
like
if
to be
you,
cagey.
yeah, I know, but Shaun, if you go home with an immunity idol, then you're an idiot. So if you could have won, if you could have given more, imagine if suddenly something happened in that race and you knew you were only giving 98%. And then you had 2% left in the tank, and then you went, okay, well, now I don't go any further.
You might win, but you missed the qualifying time by 0.01 of a second.
Here's a question. Did you play every game with as much passion and ferocity as you could, or did you put them in categories and go, I'm only going to give 95% to this one? Answer, Dockers, people are listening.
Have you ever seen a cheetah run half pace? No, my friend. It is flat to the boards.
Well, then there's your answer. There's your answer.
Righto, over to the Socceroos last night, and then you catch them on Bold.
Yeah.
Fair
On
dinkum.
Bold?
Tough to find that one on the...
You're just making stuff up
I
now.
know, it sounds like
I
it,
was
doesn't
trying
it?
to find it last night and I'm going, what is this? Oh, is it on SBS? Where am I looking? And then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Bold. I wasn't expecting that.
That's right now. And when you turned it over there, because everyone expected to get underway probably a reasonable time, be 7 o'clock here in Perth, but no, it's 8 o'clock, and that really put me off to start with.
Oh, no.
We were
You've
playing
slowed down the
Palestine.
cheetah.
It started 4 minutes in, we score our first goal
Yeah.
because we got a penalty, right? And it was a dubious free kick, and the Palestinian players were going absolutely spare at the referee, and I would have been too. But there's a point in all of our sports which we watch where you can't
They're not
get
gonna
too much
change
in
their
the
mind.
No, they're not going to change their mind, and you're also there's a point where you know the dissent thing. You
Yes, I
can't just
know.
have 20 people on the field just surrounding the referee and really going him in his face.
To be
but
fair,
you can
though-
know, Sean, because you do what you do when you ring up a telemarketer.
Oh,
yes.
You go, look, I'm not angry at you,
Yes.
but
Don't take
it
this
personally.
personally.
don't take this personally. You go, "Blah!" It's fine.
I mean-
Okay, that's
as long as you
fair
do
call.
that.
The Palestinians are going through a bit, so you can understand why they might be on edge.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair call too. So Australia were far too good last night, 5-0. Great stuff there. And finally, I was watching Fox Sports this morning, which I found this is great. So there's a guy from the Sydney Roosters, and he's the hooker. He plays the hooker, Brandon Smith. And he's been a large part of their team for a number of years, but he keeps getting himself in trouble. He's been suspended for this weekend's game. And he's going to tell us why it all went wrong for him to miss a team meeting.
Done by me, first of all. I went out for a coffee with my missus. She doesn't like when I take my phone out because I ignore her, so I left my phone at home. The reason it's my fault is because you check the schedule before you get to sleep. And I should have checked, but I didn't. And then when I got home, she was all over.
Oh.
He didn't take his phone out because...
So, first of all, he didn't check the schedule, but then he was like, so he didn't realise he had a meeting, and then when they were trying to call him, he didn't
I tell
have
you
his
what,
phone.
he must check that phone 1,000 times a day for him for that to be a rule. Because my best mate, he does the same thing. You cannot get him off his phone. It's disgusting. I would rather the phone be left somewhere else.
Really? Okay.
It's ridiculous. Like,
I just
literally,
thought she was-
literally, you cannot have a conversation without his eyes darting down or suddenly going off and taking a call. It's ridiculous. So there's no when you're having lunch together, there's no point in having lunch with them. I think that
could sit at
she
separate
goes
tables.
through that. You could,
Yeah,
Natalie, we
right.
could sit at separate tables. That's how bad it is.
I thought he was just throwing her under the bus, but you make a really good point.
No,
I think
if
a
you've
lot
got,
of people do.
I tell you right now, people are listening right now.
Yeah.
If you've got one of those people in your life, God, it gives you the shits.
I mean, he was throwing her under the bus for sure.
He
But
was,
still.
but no, you make a really good point, no.
Yeah.
She's been pushed to the brink.
By the way, his name's Brandon. When do you reckon we're going to be phasing out Brandons?
Oh, I think it's gone.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
Because
like
Brandon
he's an
was
adult
Brandon
Brandon.
was the 90210 phase.
Yeah.
So that was when everyone was calling people Brandons and Dylans. So Brandons are
There's
now
no baby Brandon.
Brandons are now probably 40 plus. 40
No,
plus.
no,
So this
there's
guy
a-
be in his 20s.
Yeah,
Wow.
he is,
So it's a younger Brandon.
Brandon Walker plays for the Dockers. He's 22.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But yeah, I
call him
think
the Don?
No, you wouldn't find a baby Brandon
They call him
very
the
often.
Don.
Yeah, Brandon
do?
Don. Okay.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.